I've done it again. I'm on a roll this morning. And all I'm doing is research. But it's based on a theory I've had. And I finally got around to checking it. And I've confirmed it. There is a pattern of lunar eclipses with the deaths of LDS prophets. Confirmed. So we've got a tetrad alert. Right now, we're in the middle of it. We just had number 2. We got number 3 coming. And there was a big event, 2014, 2015, tetrad on Jewish holy days, where after number 3, which is coming up next year in May, Perry Packer Scott died with the tetrad. And I've already done the videos showing you how both Gordon B. Hinckley and Thomas S. Monson both died with total lunar eclipses. Faust even died with a total lunar eclipse, as his and Hinckley's were a pattern. So that was kind of fun. But what about the rest? I even had a guy comment way back when I first suggested it. It was most likely when Monson died in 2018. I still remember it. He was trying to argue, and I didn't even research it. I just did it this morning. I should have done it then. I would have been confirmed. Would have shut him up in that way rather than the other way I shut him up. But yeah, there is confirmation of presidents of the church and lunar eclipses. So let us go over the chart, which will be the thumbnail and the reference for the video. I have the name of the prophet in order from Joseph Smith. He has to be factored in to the test. If Brigham Young is going to claim to be the successor, we need to test. And then their death dates in the middle column, and then the lunar eclipse date that is closest to their death date. And then I put a key at the bottom. T equals total lunar eclipse, P equals partial lunar eclipse, N equals penumbral lunar eclipse. I forgot to put in ST, which is supermoon total lunar eclipse. That was for Monson. That was the awesomest one. That was everything thrown in, even the kitchen sink. So, Joseph Smith died June 27th, 1844. There was one closest that happened on May 31st, 1844. And it was a total lunar eclipse. It is within 1 month time frame, plus or minus. In this case, it's minus. And in this particular case, he was assassinated. It wasn't natural causes. That needs to be factored in as an anomalous factor. Then we go to Brigham Young. August 29th, 1877, a total minus. I'm not quite sure what they meant by minus or the plus for Wilford Woodruff, as you see, but it's a total. August 23rd, 1877, 6 days before. I don't think he was assassinated. Unless the church is keeping it a secret from us. Are you guys willing to confess to assassinations from Brigham Young to Monson. You know, like Monson. Interesting timing. Russia, if you're listening, we'd like a temple. If you'll do us a favor, though. Very interesting timing. John Taylor, July 25th, 1887. And within a month after, August 3rd, 1887, a partial. Wilford Woodruff, September 2nd, 1898. Here's an anomalous condition because there's nothing plus or minus a month, but there were two, as if his death date was right in between the two. So we have July 3rd, 1898, which was a partial, and then December 27th was the T plus, Terminator plus, for total. And so, looking at the history of the church, Wilford Woodruff is the crossroads between the United States of America shutting down the church and his bridging to Heber J. Grant, who founded the current church. So he's at the crossroads, as his death date is at the crossroads between two lunar eclipses that year. So that I found interesting. That may explain the anomaly. It's kind of difficult to confirm reasoning. You kind of have to ask Mother Nature on this one. I don't think she's willing to give the answers. Though on SNL on Saturday, oh my goodness, I will kill you! The wrath of Mother. Lorenzo Snow. And I'm not going to, although it just came to my mind that I could do that, have a picture of each one of them with their death date and lunar eclipse date below it. I've done that previously for Monson, Hinckley, Perry Packer Scott, but and even Faust, but it would take a lot of work. This chart in and of itself will have to suffice for now. So Lorenzo Snow, October 10th, 1901. Lunar eclipse, October 27th, 1901, partial. Joseph Fielding Smith Sr., November 19th, 1918. And this just barely made it by 2 days. December 17th, 1918, and this is a penumbral eclipse. And that's curious, because Smith comes from Hiram and is not part of the Gadianton band of Danites of Brigham Young. Heber J. Grant, May 14th, 1945. This one did exceed the month limit. That's an anomaly. But 6 is June 25th, 1945, partial. So it's 10 days, because there's 31 days in, so no, actually it's an extra. So 12 days extra. April 4th, 1951 for George Albert Smith. And his was before, almost right before, just like Brigham's. This was March 23rd, 1951. And so 12 days earlier rather than the 6 days earlier for Brigham. What, 12? Seriously? Wait a minute. 8 is 31 for March, and 12. Pattern! Heber J. Grant is 12 days over the 1 month limit. George Albert Smith is before 12 days. Interesting. David O. McKay, January 18th, 1970. February 21st. So it is over the month limit, 1970. This one is, let's see, 31, so 13, and then 13 plus 21 is 34. So 4 days over the limit. And then Joseph F. Smith Jr. David's was a partial, but you can see it on the chart. But just in case, make sure I say it in case there are some lazy readers. Joseph Fielding Smith Jr. July 2nd, 1972, and his lunar eclipse was July 26th, 1972, partial. Harold B. Lee, December 26, 1973. His was also before, December 10th, 1973. It was a partial. And Spencer W. Kimball, November 5th, 1985. And his was also just before, October 28th, 1985. A total. The totals are very interesting because Joseph, Brigham, half of Wilford's, the final one of Wilford's, and Kimball, and then Hinckley, and Monson was a super total. Super T. Okay, so Ezra Taft Benson. May 30th, 1994, and his also was before, May 25th, 1994, a partial. Howard W. Hunter, March 3rd, 1995, his exceeded the limit as well by 13 days. April 15th, 1995, partial. He was the pregnancy period prophet. 9 months. That's it. And then Gordon B. Hinckley. That was January 27th, 2008. And then February 21st, 2008. Total. With the pattern with Faust. And then Thomas S. Monson. Are you sure it was natural, Nelson? You sure you aren't rushing to exalt yourself to get certain things done? You know, if you want to ruin the pattern here, by all means, come out and confess. January 2nd, 2018, 10:02 p.m. And then the super total blood blue wolf. January 31st, 2018. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. Interesting that I again confirmed. That's how you do it, guys.